All right, good afternoon, everyone. I know this is the end of the day. We promise not to make this boring. My name is Millie. I am one of your go-to-market tour guides here today. Go-to-market stands for GTM. You'll see that a lot in our presentation. And I am a senior product manager. Let me actually go to the intro slide. So I'm a senior AI product manager. I work in the go-to-market space, and I specialize in building AI products for our sellers. And so here today, Amelia and I have the awesome chance to be able to see how AI is completely transforming the game for our sales and marketing teams here at ServiceNow. I'm going to pass it over to Amelia to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, I'm Amulya Gupta. I'm the NLP scientist at ServiceNow, working with Millie in the GTM AI space.
All right, let's get into it. So, just a show of hands, are there any sellers in the room right now? All right, we got a couple. Anyone familiar with the sales process? Yeah, okay. Well, no worries. We're here to explain it. And this is the slide to take a picture of if you want to really understand the sales process. But at ServiceNow, we ask a very fundamental question, and that is, how is AI transforming the game for our sales and marketing teams? So traditionally, go-to-market has been sitting at the forefront of our growth. They are absolutely critical to how we grow at ServiceNow. And historically, a lot of our sales teams have been completely busy with just navigating a maze of disconnected systems, tools, manual workflows. And as a result, they don't really get to focus on their core of selling, which is actually building relationships and making sure that they can make our customers happy. And so if you're not familiar with the sales process, it's actually not really like a one and done interaction. There's a lot more that goes into it, and this is a way to kind of distill it down into one picture. So if we start at the top, plan and prospect, this will typically include things like getting that initial interest, going through LinkedIn, cold calling, emailing, finding that one person at the right time. Once you secure that interest, we move to progress the deal. And this is where we'll spend time with the customer to really understand their core pain points. A seller will typically build out a demo to actually, demo our product. We'll build out proposals, we'll handle objections, and this is often a pretty lengthy process. But once the customer actually signs that deal, the work is not done. That's when we move to deploy and drive. That's when we're onboarding the customer onto our ServiceNow platform and making sure they're getting the most value. ServiceNow offers a lot, and so we want to make sure we understand their pain points and they're using everything they can on our platform. And lastly is renew and grow. So once they're a customer, making sure they're happy, they're staying on that growth trajectory, and most importantly, that they renew every cycle. So to bring this story to life, I'm going to introduce you to a ServiceNow rep. Her name is Jane. And she unknowingly uses a lot of these generative AI use cases that you see up on the screen. We have AI use cases across this entire workflow, but we are going to show you how we've completely used Databricks as our execution layer and how Databricks is actually changing the game for her step by step. So let's start at the top of the funnel with lead scoring, plan, and prospect. This is actually a live view of Jane going through her prospects for the day that she has to reach out to. You can see there's a lot, and frankly, some of these are going to be a waste of her time. And that's simply because some leads are people that are like going to events, demos, and showing very high engagement, versus others, they may have just stumbled upon our website once, and they're not showing that same kind of engagement. And so that's where lead scoring comes into the picture. You can see on the right-hand side, we have some contacts labeled as MQLs, which is our marketing qualified leads. These are the leads that are likely to convert into pipeline for Jane in the next 90 days. They're worth her time and attention. And so this model has actually done so well historically that Jane, her boss, has actually made it a mandate that she has to reach out to all of these MQLs and within a 24-hour period. So as soon as the lead shows interest, that timer starts ticking. So I want you to remember what I just said. As soon as the lead shows interest, that timer starts ticking. So you can see where I'm going here, where making sure we follow up on that interest as soon as possible is absolutely critical. And so lead scoring has actually been around for a while. We used to process leads in batch every 15 minutes. So let's say someone visited our website. They will then go into a queue, be processed in the next 15 minutes, and then we're going to consolidate all the signals we have on this individual, which is up to a 3 to 4 hour process. That's 4 hours, 20 hours left for Jane to do her outreach. However, now with Databricks, we're actually processing these leads in real time, in less than a minute. So as soon as the lead comes in, we're gathering all the information we can about this individual behind the scenes in Databricks in 30 minutes. And that is an automatic reduction, 8 times the speed improvement, and from 4 hours, which is already half her workday, she still has the whole day still left to go about and start reaching out to her leads. So let's double click into what lead scoring is and how we're executing it behind the scenes. So I talked a lot about data signals. These come from 2 different places. One from our Adobe Enterprise platform. This is where we're getting all the information we can on the contact, what their website behavior is. Additionally, we get a lot of our signals in Snowflake, which is our data warehouse. We'll get info on the lead, the account they're from, their history with ServiceNow. And these both feed into our core lead scoring engine, which sits in Databricks. And so you can see on the left-hand side, Snowflake has an automatic connection into Databricks. However, for Adobe Enterprise Platform, we use Kafka to communicate back and forth with Databricks. So let's talk about lead scoring engines specifically. That's the core of everything we do. So we use MLflow in Databricks to score our leads. Again, we're bringing in all those signals from various places, and we're dynamically and in real time scoring them. MLflow allows us to completely manage the full life cycle of our model, from training to deploying to versioning. And it has that inbuilt resiliency. If there's any alerts, it alerts the right and relevant teams. And we get signals, again, from different places, and the volume that we look at is around 1,000 a day, but with significant ServiceNow events like this, we look at that going up to around 20K. But Databricks, luckily, it's been able to handle this volume with ease. And then once it actually scores the lead, we push it back to a CRM tool, in our case, Dynamics. That's where Jane's actually going and picking up her prospects, and it does that via Kafka. So how is Jane benefiting from this lead scorer? When she chooses to focus on her MQL leads, she's actually getting 3.2 times more meetings, 3.3 times more opportunities, and of course, 3x more pipeline as a result. And on a grander scale, Databricks has allowed us to score up to 1 million leads in 2024, but most importantly, it's allowed us to do that very effectively. I spoke about lead scoring being, the target being MQL leads that are converted into actual opportunities for Jane. It did that correctly 91% of the time. And of course, the proof are in the dollars. Our MQL leads last year generated multi-million dollars for ServiceNow, and many of those leads are now our customers. All right. So Jane now has her marching orders. She knows what leads she needs to reach out to. But what's next? How can AI help her, right? So in comes Outreach Assist. This is her personalized email drafter. Now, I want you guys to think about every single sales and marketing email you've ever received that ended up straight in the trash. This is actually Jane's next challenge, is to prevent that from happening. We want to make sure that this email stands out, and everyone knows the key to actually reading an email is making it feel like it's made just for you. So AI helps her with that too. This is a live view of Jane actually using Outreach Assist. She puts in the name of the prospect she wants to reach out to, and already she has access to auto-populated and drafted emails to her prospect, Ajay. It pulls in signals on Ajay as an individual, the account that he's from. It pulls in relevant customer stories based on the industry he's in. And all she really has to do is review this email and click send. And so you can see where I'm going here. There's a very obvious productivity play. Before Outreach Assist even existed, sellers like Jane actually had to draft all these emails by herself. And so she would spend 5 minutes scrubbing the lead, making sure this is actually a legit lead, and then up to 17 minutes going through LinkedIn's, going through news, going through 10Ks, customer websites, all to craft that one personalized email that may or may not get a response. That was 20 minutes per lead, and you saw how many people she had to reach out to. She just cannot get through all of that in her day. So now, again, with the new workflow, we use Databricks as our execution layer, and we craft those emails in less than 2 minutes. We're pulling signals on all of the individuals, again, at a contact and account level. And for each lead, she's only spending about 5 minutes, meaning she's able to get through more of her leads, in fact, all of them, and each one gets that one-to-one personalized treatment. So now I'm going to pass it over to Amulya, and he is going to walk you through what's under the hood of Outreach Assist.
Thanks, Millie, for kicking off this journey. Now, please buckle up. I'm your next tour guide as we move ahead. From the architecture point of view, as we saw in the lead scorer, we are storing all the scored leads in the dynamics. So we start from here in the Outreach Assist, where we firstly automatically scrub the lead. We have implemented simple rules to identify whether the incoming lead is a legit one or not. Next, we have all the relevant signals sitting in Snowflake for that particular lead, such as job function, role. Additionally, we know that every lead is associated to an account, right? So we have the customer info, such as what does that company do, its mission, vision, and if that company is a public one, we are scraping the SEC filings to understand what their needs are. Lastly, we have the ServiceNow product documentation sitting in Snowflake as well. So once we collect all the relevant context around that lead, the outreach engine sitting in the Databricks comes into the picture. We have in-house developed prompts where we feed in that relevant context, pass it to the LLM, receive the response. Now, at this point, I would like to mention that we are not generating the email in one shot. We did that, and our GTM stakeholders were like, meh, no control, right? So what we did is we are generating every email piece by piece, where we start with an introduction, personalized introduction. Then we feed in the relevant case studies or case stories for that particular account, and then we end the email with a call to action. Furthermore, we are not only generating or drafting one email, we are drafting a list of emails over here so that we can feed into a sequence. Now, a natural question over here is, what's a sequence? It's a list of steps. For example, it can include a phone call, LinkedIn message, and obviously an email. So once we have put our emails in that sequence, we push that entire sequence in the Outreach, which is a third-party vendor tool, where the responsibility of Jane is to simply review that sequence or all the emails in that sequence. Now, the responsibility of Jane has reduced from conducting the research, manually drafting the email, to only reviewing the email. I would like to double-click on the role that Databricks is playing over here. Firstly, we have orchestrated our workflows. As Millie mentioned, we are processing 1,000 leads on a daily basis. And then we have deployed health dashboards and notification system over here so that if any workflow or job fails, we immediately get to know about that, and we have fallback systems so that our end-to-end pipeline keeps running smoothly. In terms of results, in 2024, Outreach Assist helped in drafting 65,000 emails. We saw a 2x increase in the reply rate and also witnessed a 3.3x increase in the number of meetings. At this point, I would like to mention, we hypothesize that basically we expected an increase in the reply rate, but we were surprised to see an increase in the meetings as well. We hypothesize that the personalization email has an additional benefit where generative AI is establishing the relevance between the ServiceNow solutions and what that lead or an account is looking for. All right, so we have scored the leads for Jane. We have helped her in doing an outreach and drafting the email. What's next? Imagine that Jane gets a positive reply on one of the emails. So her next task is to basically create a personalized pitch or a personalized presentation for that prospective customer, right? So that's where Demo Assist can help. On the screen, you can see that it's a template, but it's a personalized presentation which Jane can use anywhere, anytime, while talking to a customer. The beauty of this presentation is that the entire content is tailored to a particular customer. Since we have all the relevant signals, we are extracting insights such as what are the pain points, what are the expansion opportunities, what are the success stories, and how ServiceNow solution can address those pain points or those expansion opportunities. Previously, what used to happen was Jane was to manually conduct all the research and then draft these discussion points, leading to a one-day effort. However, we have automated this process since we know all the raw signals and the generated insights are sitting in Snowflake. So why not to create a simple template, but we can make it personalized by using those insights into the template, right? So that effort has been reduced to minutes now. Again, from the architecture point of view, we have developed this discussion engine which sits in the Databricks. We have all the relevant signals in Snowflake. We have in-house developed prompts specifically for this project. We pass into the LLM and get the insights. We have a customized presentation creator tool which sits outside Databricks, which takes the generated insights and the raw data signals, take the template, and then compile everything together. And then Jane can simply click on a button to download that presentation and can talk to the customer anytime. In terms of results, in 2024, we roughly prepped 120,000 demos. We saw an increase of 1.5x in the deal velocity, which means how fast Jane can close any deals. And lastly, we have definitely reduced the time it takes to develop a presentation. All right, so we are on the screen where we started from this presentation. At the step 1, plan and prospect, we have delivered the lead scorer and the outreach assist for Jane so that her life can become easy. While progressing the deal, we have delivered a demo assist, and we are working on a deal manager which simply summarizes the opportunity for Jane and quickly enables Jane to get an overview of any opportunity. In the third pillar, deploy and driving value, we have our ML models so that we can ensure the success of our customers and recommend some plugins or trainings available at the ServiceNow. Lastly, in the renew and grow pillar, we have our traditional ML models to predict when any customer is going to downsell a ServiceNow solution, or is there a upsell or a cross-sell opportunity available for that customer. Okay, So we have developed all these solutions, but they were not without any learnings or challenges. So we have categorized our learnings into 4 stages. The first stage is the build stage, right? Now, ServiceNow is a platform of platform. It's a good philosophy to have, right? Because we don't want to rely on single platform. So within the GTM AI space, we have mapped core platforms, such as we rely on Snowflake for our data storing purpose. We have Databricks, which has acted as a powerful execution engine for a couple of projects which we have been working on. And lastly, we leverage Now Platform or Power BI for the UI purpose. Secondly, in the deploy stage, we have completely shifted our mindset from sequential processing to a scalable batch or streaming pipelines wherever relevant. In the third, it's good to have AI solutions, but it's even important to broadcast those AI solutions to our GTM stakeholders, right? They're super busy in selling and promoting our ServiceNow solutions, so we want to make their life easy. Hence, we conduct interviews with our GTM leaders. We hold interview sessions, show and tell sessions with our GTM stakeholders regularly so that they can easily adopt our AI solutions. Lastly, we continuously monitor the health of our AI solutions by doing A/B testing. If it's a traditional ML model, we utilize classical metrics such as AUC, precision recall. If it's a Gen AI solution, we leverage LLM as a judge and human in the loop in the techniques. Latency is super important to us because we don't want our GTM stakeholders sitting around and wondering, hey, what's happening over there? Lastly, ServiceNow has built this AI control tower. Specifically, our team developed that, which tracks the health of our AI solutions and also tracks the value driven out of every AI solutions. So I'll highly recommend, please check that out. All right, so let me try to paint a future for us. Obviously, I have to say agents, right? Agents are everywhere. So we are looking to develop GTM agents and an agentic AI solution. We are not looking to develop thousands of agents. We want to build robust agents which can simplify the life of our GTM stakeholders. Secondly, we are looking to develop agent-to-agent communication, so that they can be more effective. Lastly, we are looking forward to develop the robust GTM workflows. Secondly, we intend to develop GTM knowledge graph. Now, for every project, we connect with our GTM stakeholders to understand their mindset, their thought process, since they are the domain expert. It's not like they don't like us, but it becomes really challenging to again and again go back to them. So what we are looking forward is to build this GTM knowledge graphs where everything can reside. Several roadblocks right now, such as GraphRag, GraphDB. Should we actually use GraphDB or not? If not, can we have a zero-copy solution? So if you guys over here have any thoughts and solutions, feel free to connect with us. Lastly, it all boils down to this GTM engine. We will leverage our agents, agentic solutions, knowledge graph to build this GTM engine, which basically will provide the capability to our GTM stakeholders where we will have a deal assistant which can walk side by side on their journey. And lastly, which will provide the next best action at every stage of that deal. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed our GTM journey. I would like to acknowledge our GTM team members, ML Ops team members, and the ML engineering team members, some of which are sitting over here. Now I open the floor for any question and answers.